Welcome to the first round of the playoffs recap. Sincere condolences from me for this being such a late video. I appreciate your guys' patience. Just busy time of year for all of us. Happens. What can I say? I wish you all had a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever the fuck you want to celebrate. Let's get ready to have a rowdy New Year's, boys. Big round one. An interesting round one. Maybe not big. Interesting round one. We're really only going to cover the games that matter. I'll quickly mention the consolation games, maybe, but they don't really matter. I'll see how I feel. We'll see how I'm feeling. But we're going to start today with the interesting matchup. The matchup that was a close game. For those of you that were following along, Barkley's Thunder Thighs and Trubiscuits and Gravy had a very, very interesting 2-week playoff. Everything kind of came down to DeAndre Hopkins playing for Barkley's Thunder Thighs. Unfortunately, the man's only put up 1.4 points, which is a real heartbreaker if DeAndre Hopkins even puts up, what was his average? His average score this year was 16 points. If he put up 16 points, Barkley's Thunder Thighs wins this game, right? So even if he scored his average, he would have won the game for Barkley's Thunder Thighs. Fortunately for Eddie and his team, they went down hard. Heartbreaking loss. And unfortunately for the rest of us in this league, that means that Jimmy and Trubiscuits and Gravy are heading to the championship game. Very, very annoying. Jimmy claimed to have only watched Thanksgiving Day football this year. So you can go fuck yourself, Jimmy. Not really cool that you're in the final. But it was an interesting game. After week 15, the first week of the playoffs, very close game. Barkley's Thunder Thighs had 144, and Trubiscuits and Gravy had 146. So it was a 2-point game, close game. But unfortunately, Trubiscuits and Gravy kind of went with it in the second round, scoring 149 to Barkley's Thunder Thighs 140. So real tough, heartbreaking loss for all of us, honestly. I think everybody here was rooting for Eddie to pull this one out, but unfortunately, Jimmy is headed to the playoff final. Now, we get to the other game, and, this one's a real head-scratcher. As you all remember, I'm sure, going into the last week of the final, the regular season, we had a bunch of teams able to clinch a playoff spot. A couple guys here and there. Why is my phone blinking? You'll see this? It's not happening in real life. Interesting. We had a couple teams that were trying to get in to that final playoff spot, and Griff pulled it out, which, was a miraculous kind of thing. I think it was great to see someone kind of coming in, scooping late, and getting that last spot over some other teams that might have been a little more deserving of said spot. And I think it gave us all a little bit of optimism going into the playoffs that Griff might have a showing. The opposite happened, however. Griff did not show up. I don't know what happened to your team here, Griff, but this is embarrassing. Honestly, you gotta go home, reevaluate your team, and come back next year with a plan, because what the fuck, dude? You didn't score 100 points in either week. Your 2-week total's 174. 174 points in 2 weeks? You were outscored by 5 non-playoff teams. The only non-playoff team that didn't outscore you was New York Upstate New York Sucks, who they're the worst team in the league. They finished in last. They're the only team you would have beat. Griff, come on, man. What happened? Is there a disconnect? Did you not give a great pregame speech? I don't understand really what happened here. Kind of looking for some answers. Don't know if you'll have any. But this was really disappointing. we know that Draft No Whites has been kind of the top dog in the league all year for some reason. Um, but to lose a game like this, pretty embarrassing in the playoffs. Pretty embarrassing. Not even put up 100 points in a single week. Kind of tough. Um, Draft No Whites yet again. Justin, congrats, man. Uh, don't know how you did it. Again, like I said before, I've been playing fantasy football with you for a while now. It's the first time your draft strategy has worked. First time that you've made the playoffs, and now you've gone to the championship. I don't know. You stayed true to the plan. Don't know how it worked, but here we are. Absolute just ass kicking here by you. 308 points. That's just amazing. 164 in week 1, 143 in week 2 for a total of 308 on the dot. Impressive, buddy. Just real ass kicking. You would have beat everybody in the league. Nobody else touched 300. The only little bright spot I guess we have is that Jimmy was the next closest scorer with 295. So, maybe this final will be interesting. Don't really know. I guess we'll see. Um, but just a recap for these other consolation games. Again, nothing big. I beat Chumba 291 to 246. Jake lost to Alec 276 to 230. And then Connor lost to John 221 to 165. Again, Connor the only team that wouldn't have beat Griff. Really embarrassing for you, Griff. But yeah, we have our finals matchup. We have, going in, we have a 2-week final championship. We got Trubiscuits and Gravy going up against the Draft No Whites. It's going to be an interesting one. Again, they're the only two that kind of made were anywhere close to each other. There was a bit of a separation, but I think it might be interesting in the end. I think we're all rooting for Justin. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but that would be my guess, because Jimmy doesn't deserve it. At least Justin's put the hard work in for years. He's stayed true to this course of drafting no white people, and it's finally paying off. So he's done the hard part. Jimmy hasn't done anything hard. Jimmy's absolute luck. Every part of this, absolute luck. So I think we're all really rooting for Rungi. Best of luck to the both of you. I will remind everybody here and now, our league winner will receive $20 from everybody, except for the second place person. They get to keep their $20. So their buy-in they get to keep. Everybody else will give Rungi the $20 that the buy-in was. Venmo, cash, whatever works for y'all. But that's our final. These two teams that throughout the year, I think we all kind of overlooked. We let them sneak up on us. So that's kind of on us, guys. Jake, I feel for you, dude. I know that you, of all the teams, are probably most deserving. I think that you had the best, managerial year of all. But sometimes it just happens. So again, 2-week final. I will send an update in 2 weeks, and I believe that we'll have some awards, some end of season awards. So we'll see where things go. So stay tuned for that. And best of luck to our two teams, really only Rungi, that are in the finals.